Namaste everyone. Today is National Equilibrium Group 34th webinar, and today we are going to discuss about introduction to Veda, Purana, Itihasa, and Granthas, the holy books. Whatever in our culture, in our Indian tradition, how many are there? What are there? And also, what is the origin? Who is the author? Or what time, place it covers, and where it is applicable, and what are the references, and what we can learn from them, and how we can implement them from today's life. And what if the same situation as it happened in one long time happens now? How to do? How to learn? How to adopt? All those things. And today we have a presenter, Dr. Dhananjay Dongreji, and he's an expert in. He studied many such granthas and works, and today he's going to share his experience with us. Dhananjay ji, over to you.
Namaskar, brothers and sisters. I hope you are all settled. You are able to hear well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shall I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The subject today that we will be discussing is what we can get from our scriptures. Scriptures are very many in number. They are very big in size, volume. The time at which they were written was long ago. And the continuous tradition of Guru and Shishya has practically got lost in many places. But then, what is the purpose for which we refer these Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Brahman Granthas, Smriti Granthas, Agama Granthas, Tantra Granthas, Sutra Granthas? Because basically we do have very many problems in our life and we like to know how to solve them. Basically, problem solving is something for which we look at our Shastras. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what is it that we want to achieve in this life? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Now, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha are four Purusharthas, as we call them. What is meant by Purush here? The women, they are not Purush, they are Purush. The soul that resides in them is called as Purush. Whether a person is a female or a male, the soul residing in it is referred to as Purush. So everyone has to achieve something, strive for it. Normally speaking, in any science that we learn for the sake of our earning livelihood, also means study for some years. It also means we have to go and attend classes somewhere. There will be teachers, there will be co-students, there will be a lab for experimentation. Now, are these things existing for us to learn our Vedas, Puranas, Brahman Granthas, Smriti Granthas? At least I am not aware. There are Pathshalas which teach how to chant the Vedas. Chanting is one aspect of the recitation of the Vedas. Today, what has happened is Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita is the way Vedas are chanted. If you listen to it, I do not know whether you will be able to guess what is the subject matter here. In normal music, whatever be the subject or the words, you may understand that language or you may not understand the language, but still you can guess at least as to what is going on. Is it something that contains the Veera Rasa or Shrungara Rasa or Hasya Rasa? Various rasas exist and music is employed to make full use of that, to cause the utkarsha of the rasa. Now here, what is Purana? As I said, Purana is something which has happened yesterday. The time scale that we have in our Shastras is very, very big, which the Westerners cannot even think of. They say that Vedas were written 5,000 years back. Why 5,000 and written? Because they did not know how to write. They did not know how to write poetry. They did not know how to worship the Lord. Why 5,000 years? If we have written records in our Shastras telling us that our life, which we spend here, now say in the Kali Yuga, is less, 100 years at the maximum. But in the Dwapar Yuga, which has happened before, the life is more, double. In the Treta Yuga, it is triple. And in the Satya Yuga, it is 4 times. Now, this kind of a change in the life cycle, others have not heard of. We say that we live in Bharatavarsha. Okay. Bharatavarsha is the land which we call as our land. Bha is Vedic Jnana, and those who are totally engrossed in Vedic Jnana are known as Bharata, and we are their descendants, so we are called as Bharatiyas. Now this Vedic knowledge, people say, has been denied to a vast section of the society. Is that true? And what do we mean by saying denial? People say that the only 3 sections of the society, namely the Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya, are entitled to learn the Vedas. Is that right? Let us try to understand. The Vedas have existed since time immemorial. In all the yugas, the Vedas exist. Normally speaking, we believe that Vedas are meant for performance of yajnas. But the Puranas tell us that this is not the truth. In the Satya Yuga, they don't perform the yajnas. There are Vedas. There are human beings. There are husband and wife, but they do not even have a house. They do not have agriculture. When we are told that they do not have agriculture, we mean, or we are given to understand as if they were so backward that they did not even know that they have to sow the seed and grow the trees. It is given in the Shastras that in those times agriculture was not required because they could get right from the Prithvi itself the various rasas which they needed. Even today, we have heard of the yogis living in the Himalayas who take all the ingredients which they need, which we eat normally. Let us put it this way, like rice, wheat, bajra, jawar, vegetables and whatnot, milk, to maintain our body. Now these edibles are obtained from the Prithvi. It also contains water. It also contains Agni. It also contains Vayu and Akash, all the Panchamahabhutas. Such yogis as those who are living in the Himalayas, even today, some of them have the key as to how to obtain the Panchamahabhuta directly or from the sun, and therefore they do not need food to eat or water to drink and things like that. A very, very interesting thing. Can we learn it? Now, we have to ask because we do not know who is doing it. So whom to ask? Those who are living in the Himalayas. Do we have an approach to them? We don't. Then whom to ask? Let us refer to the Puranas. Puranas are meant for us to give various things which we do not know. What are they like? They are practically all the areas of life where we lack perfection. Then what are these Puranas called as? How many are there? Which ones we should look for? Who is their author? Brahma Puran, Padma Puran, Vishnu Puran, Shiva Puran, Bhagavat Puran. There are two Bhagavat Puranas. One is Srimad Bhagavatam and another is Bhagavati Bhagavatam. Then Naradiya Puran, Markandeya Puran, Agni Puran, Bhavishya Puran, Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Linga Puran, Varaha Puran, Skanda Puran, Vamana Puran, Kurma Puran, Matsya Puran, Garud Puran, Brahmanda Puran. Probably most of you might have read or heard pravachanas about the Bhagavat Puran or Shiva Puran. These are the basically Puranas which are in vogue. What do they describe? Who is telling them? Who has written them? Vedas, we say, are not written by anybody. They are the Nishvasita of the Lord, which means they are the breaths. Okay, so how did the Rishis got it? Because of the mercy of the Lord. They could connect themselves to the Lord and they could get it. Why am I referring to the Lord? Is it acceptable? Is it logical to think that Lord, person, we are referring to a person? Am I foolish? Am I not scientific? Is our religion not based on science? Does it not believe on the sport theory? Some atom got, you can say, like atom bomb, exploded and this world came into being. No, this is not the truth. That is what our Shastras tell us. Who is the one that is telling us this? In a language that we can understand. There should be no code words. There should be no puzzles. There should not be very many different meanings, not connected with each other, which only the Pandits can understand. Yes, there is something simple, which is written by Veda Vyasa, as we call him, or Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. This Vyasa Muni was the son of Parashara Rishi and Matsya Gandha. Matsya Gandha, as you can understand, had the smell of a fish to her body. She was the daughter of a king of the fisher community. Now, people will ask, then you consider this Vyasa to be a Brahman, a Rishi, Muni, qualified, the son of a Matsyagandha. The Shastra tells us when she conceived Veda Vyasa and when he was born, he immediately started going to the Vana. What for? To do tapasya. Have we heard of such a thing in normal life? We have not, because the normal human beings take years together to even stand, speak, move around on our own, to go to school, wear clothes properly, speak properly, learn language, learn different sciences. It takes such a long period of time. And this boy started going to Vana. The Matsya Gandha, his mother, was worried. He told her, whenever you will remember me, I will come. And thus he got permission from her to go to the Aranya. Our Shastras do not lay so much of an emphasis on the birth in a family of Brahmins or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas or Shudras. One can be born anywhere, but if one makes an attempt in the direction of the attaining the bhakti, jnana about the Lord, becomes virakta about this world, then he is entitled to become an acquainted, knowledgeable person in different paths that leads to the Lord. Is Lord a male or a female? Is he male? If he is male, are we saying that our society is believing only in the male dominance? It is not true. We say the Lord has divided himself into two forms. The left form is that of the Devi and the right one is that of the male, Dev. Bhagavan Krishna has moved Radha out of his own body. In this world, normally we see many people. They have many different qualities. Some might be a Pandit, some might be a good warrior, might be knowing how to make hydrogen bombs, atom bombs, and whatnot. But do they all have the power to take that part of the expertise away from their body and give a physical form to it? Human form? No. Krishna is capable of doing that. Shiva is capable of doing that. And that is why you see Radha Krishna, Parvati Parameshwara. So, what is the difference between the female form here and the male form here? And why Lord gives this kind of a different form? You see, in life that we have led, we have had our male relations, female relations, father, mother, uncle, whatnot, very many, cousins, sisters. Can we say that because such and such person is my father and is my mother, I am very much attached to them? Normally speaking, in HUF, Hindu undivided families, where there used to be many people around, like not only the father and mother, but grandfather, grandmother, uncle, uncle's wife, father's sister also, unmarried sisters, then the children of the uncles. And it was also possible that perhaps the grandfather's relation also could be there. And many a times what we have found is like this. Say, for example, children, 2 years, 3 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years old children are with whom most of the time they are with their grandmothers or grandfathers who are very fond of the children. They are the ones who give them anything that the children demand. But you will understand that these children are also attached to the grandmother, grandfather, like that. But do they want to be grandmother and grandfather immediately? No. They understand that their mother and father are much younger and are more energetic. So they understand this difference. Who is more energetic and who is not. The grandparents are always at home, whereas parents go out. So it is this power to discriminate is what these young children also have. Some of the children, when they start going to school, kindergarten, they get new friends there, new teachers there, new games to play with, and their field starts expanding. Many a times it so happens that some of the children with whom they play in their school become dearer to them than the own brothers or sisters who might be older or younger. This happens naturally. Affection develops. So there must be some common factor between the two to have a common link, the attachment. Puranas tell us these attachments, how they exist and how they are to be developed and how they are to be cut off. Cut off with the things which are not worth getting attached to and increasing the attachment to the ones with whom it is worth. With whom it is worth having the attachment to the Lord. But how do you get attached to the Lord? Who takes you to the Lord? It is the saints who take you to the Lord. So you have to maintain good relation with the saints. And who is a guru? A guru is the one who takes you to the Lord personally. Guru Govinda Dou Khade. Guru and Govinda both are standing here. Kake lagu pai, at whose feet should I go first? Balihari Guru Apake. Then it is said that the one who has brought Govinda here should be considered first, and you should fall at his feet first. If Govinda goes away, Guru will bring him back. But if Guru goes away, you are left with no one, no choice. So this is the importance of Guru that we have learned. Now these Gurus have a parampara. In our country, we say that this parampara has started from Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa taught Vedas to different Shishyas of his. And also this Loma Harshana Suta, his Suta, he was also born out of a yajna, and he was well versed in Puranas. Veda Vyas himself taught those things to him. You will understand, normally speaking, Sut is the word applied to whom? The Karna of Mahabharata was called as Sutaputra. Who is a Suta? The one who is born of Brahman mother and Kshatriya father. This is called as Pratiloma Vivaha and is not considered good and given a low post. But here we do not look at this Sut as a somebody low born. He is born out of fire, and his next generations are also given the due respect and status in the society. They are the ones who give the Puranas, these voluminous Puranas. And who is listening to the Puranas? The Rishis listen. You know who are Rishis? See, in our Sanskrit language, many a times we hear certain verbs like ru, to go, jana. How? When a king starts going out, how does he go out? Does he go himself alone? Does he drive the chariot himself? Does he have the horses on whose back he rides, or he sits on the elephants? Does he go to any place or only within his kingdom? Does he go out of his kingdom without invitation? The Rishis are the ones who have no such constraints on them. They can go to any place on this earth, in the Swarga, in the Patal, and even other lokas. They are not stopped by anyone in all these lokas. And how about the time? Could they have gone there 5,000 years back? Will they go there 10,000 afterwards? Yes, they do not have the constraint of time also on them. That means they are the ones who are really, you can say, specials in the eyes of the Lord, because of which even the residents of Patal or residents of Swargalok or residents of all Prithvi Lok consider them to be very auspicious, very knowledge, very holy, and they have the real knowledge of the world because as I said, they have always lived, they have moved around. We say if you do Deshatana, Pandita Maitri, Sanchar in the gathering of learned men, and if you study the Shastras, you become Chatura. What is Chatura? You know how to fit yourself in any of the situations in this world. That is what the Rishis are. So, Rishis are sitting, giving lot of respect to the Suta. They are requesting him to explain to them different Puranas because they contain the various actions of the Lord. If the Lord has happened 5,000 years back, how are we to know what he did? So this Suta is telling them what had happened. And he gives them a verbatim or not? He does. How? See, about 100 years back, if somebody had said that Sanjay saw everything that was happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Mahabharata, people would have thought this is something which is hodgepodge. How can we believe? But today we are sitting at our home. You are sitting in your home, I am sitting in my home, and still talking to each other, are able to see each other's face. Is it not something that the science has done? Yes, science has done. But how does science develop? It is the human beings who develop it. And if you ask anyone, like say Nikola Tesla or Einstein and similar such people, or for that matter even Newton, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton has written more books on the religion and spiritual matters than the science. When I was in school, I was not told that this was the case. They try to keep those things hidden from us as if they are worth hiding. It is not true. In the French Revolution, they say that a separation was achieved between religion and science. And science does not enter in the reign of the religion, and religion is not allowed to enter the science. In our country, that is not the case. Our books, whether they are Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, or Agama Granthas, or Smriti Granthas, they all are based on science, human observation. You see, Ayurveda can teach you or tell you what to eat, how to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, all those things. But will Ayurveda be in a position to tell you how to be on good terms with your father, mother, wife, husband, sister, brother, children? No, it calls for a different kind of knowledge. Where do you get it? That is what these Puranas give us. You need a place to live. That place to live has to be such that the house will last for many more years. Now, the way our modern science works, I'll give you a few examples. I know a case where somebody wanted to build a house. You know, people build a house or were able to build a house only after attaining a mature age of 50 or 55 or 60 years, like that. An architect was chosen and a plot was obtained for constructing the house. A contractor was appointed, house was built, and after 2 years or so, it was found that the house was sinking. It was just one ground floor only, but it was sinking because somebody who came was just a normal person, but with practical knowledge in the line, said, this is agricultural land, black cotton soil. How did you think of building a house here? You did not go deep to make a foundation. Now this architect and contractor, architect was a qualified architect, contractor was a qualified civil engineer, but both of them did not bother about the land, agricultural land on which they were to build a house. Our Puranas tell us this is the kind of land on which you should build or you should not build. The money goes to waste. The modern science has been erecting these limitations on the knowledge that is given in the colleges. They are half cooked. And who pays for it? The one who suffers from it pays for it. And it is a loss. In another case, I will give you a very interesting example. A gentleman known to me served in the judiciary. He was a judicial magistrate first. They are first lawyers, and after a practice of 5 years or so, they are taken into judiciary system. They become judges. He became judicial magistrate, assistant judge, district judge. He also came to Mumbai. In Sachivalaya, he was there, a joint secretary. Then from there, he went to be an arbitrator on the industrial tribunal. He told me once, like many people who have some aspirations, he also had aspiration of becoming a high court judge. He said, but I did not. I could not become a high court judge. Now, what do you expect him to speak further? Probably he might say that because of the circumstances that exist, you have to be born either in a low caste or a high caste, must have influence, must have money to give, and whatnot. He did not say anything like that. He told me I could not become a judge and high court judge because I did not deserve it. Why? He said he could not deserve. He said, because I did not know the importance of knowing the life as it is. In the judiciary, what we learn, and the only thing that we learn, and the only thing for which we are good at, is giving a judgment. He, in the same breath, told me that I never took a single pie in whole of my life from anyone as corruption money. But only in the 2% cases where he gave judgment, people felt that it was a justice given by the Lord himself. Now, How could that happen? Only in the 2% cases this happened. Though he was not corrupt, he was not favoring, he was true to his job, true to the spirit. How did it happen? He himself said, because I did not know the life as it is. Perhaps you might have heard the name of Bhartruhari. Bhartruhari has written Shatakas, Niti Shataka, Shrungar Shataka, and Vairagya Shataka. These are different aspects of life. But unless one has gone through them, one does not realize what the life is. And one person can lead only one life. How many persons will he come in contact with? So you have to read from the literature. And literature is also written by whom? Somebody who has a limited view. His opinions are given. Then the opinion that you form will be correct or probably not. Here, the advantage with Vyas is like this. Whatever he comments at the end is the real thing. See, any happening as it takes place is described by somebody, the one who has taken part in it or somebody who has observed it. But then the partisan attitude comes into picture and we do not come to know what is the truth. In order to know the truth, we have to read what Vyas Maharshi is saying. Now, this Vyasa Maharshi divided the Vedas into 4 categories: Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, and Atharvaved. Okay. What else did he do? He wrote Vedanta Sutra. They are the sutras telling us about the Vedanta part of it. He wrote 18 Puranas, which give how the information about how this world came into being. How is it sustained? How will it be annihilated? The Puran also tells us about the yugas that exist here in the Bharata Khanda, which is situated in the Jambu Dweep. It also tells us that the other areas, other khandas, do not have the occurrence or do not face this kind of a difference in the periods which affect the behavior of the human beings, their life cycle and whatnot. The cycles of Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga exist only here. In other places they don't. Then what are those places? We are told that there are different areas. Kim Purusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, Kuru Varsha, and many more. Pushkar Dweep. So, in all these places, the life cycle of the jivas living there is such that they live for more than 4,000 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, like that. Now we can say that we have moved around enough in this world and have never come across any beings who are comparable to human beings and they live for 5,000 years or 10,000 years. No, we have never seen them. Then what have we seen? We have seen only some birds which go in the air and after a time come back. If they have a lot of strength, they may go hundreds of miles. But again, in between, they have to take a rest somewhere. They have to eat somewhere. Okay, that is the way they will move. But do they speak to us? Or even amongst themselves? Do they build a house? Do they build a culture? Nothing of the kind. Same is the case with the animals. How about the fishes? Same thing. Then it is only the human beings who are able to speak. We have vacha, as we say. We are able to hear. We are able to see. We are able to smell. We are able to taste. So 5 sense organs and 5 connected organs of action. Okay. Now, how do we control them? Are we really controlling, or they are working automatically? The Lord provides some automatic mechanisms in them so that they are taken care of. Then who spoils them? We spoil, because we feel that we don't have to ask anybody. We will eat whatever we like to eat. We will drink whatever we appreciate. We'll wear any type of clothes that we want. Now, this is a way of life which we feel we should be allowed. Why should we be allowed? Because we feel that we are wise persons. We are the owners of this world. No one is as intelligent as we are. So, again, when do we become wise? Only when we fall on our face, break the teeth, and become old. That is the time when we understand. So, this is not the way to know or understand anything. It is better that we contact the higher ups. So, these higher ups, their names are given. These Puranas tell us that this world has come into being. That means at some point of time it did not exist. Then who existed then, that time, and in what form? Can we know? Yes. How? By the grace of these Puranas. They tell us in succession how it happens. Would you like to listen? Yes. If you want to listen, let us first clarify our own body tissues so that we make them in a condition that will help us to be sensitive to what I will be reciting then. Just listen. Hrim, Shrim, Hrim, Shrim, Rasa, Atma, Mata, Pitru Sambhava Bhuteshu. Rasa, Atma, Mata, Pitru Sambhava Bhuteshu. Hrim, Shrim, Rasa, Atma, Mata, Pitru, Sambhava, Bhuteshu. We are referring here to whom? There are 4 names here. Rasa. Rasa is what? Whatever food we eat or drink. that is first converted into rasa, the first tissue of our body. Second word here is atma, that is self. Third word is mata. Fourth is pitru, pita. Sambhava bhuteshu. So here it is said that whatever is the content in our body received from rasa, from the self, from the mata and from the pita, whether we call it DNA, whatever we have brought from the past life also exists in our body. Now, what is said there is this: probably because of the indulgence in things that we should not, the body becomes deteriorated, impure. The processes do not go on the way they should. Then how do we improve on that? I'll recite some mantras. If you want, you can feel your pulse and you will be able to understand the way it changes. If you know how to see the pulse. Can you see the way I'm holding my hand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these three fingers are kept at the root of the thumb. First, second and third, and all of them are sitting on the nadi, as we call it. This nadi is the place where we will be able to feel the difference, what is happening. If you get the force of the nadi onto your first finger, index finger, it means vata. If you find that you are getting a pulsation in the middle finger, that is the pitta, and the third one is kapha. I will be reciting the mantra to correct the derangements of vata. Vata is the one which is the moving force. Anything to happen, the mechanisms must be properly polished in order, working condition, and they are controlled by these. So I will recite something for them. Vishvakarmane Vishvakarmane Vishvatmane Vishvatmane Vishvarupaya Vishvarupaya Prajapataye Srashtre धात्रे न म विभवे न म विभवे न म विभवे न म विभवे विभवे न म विभवे न म Now, if you hold your hands the way I am holding, you will realize that there is something touching your hands, and it is all the vibration which has filled the whole room where you are sitting. Kindly note, if you are accustomed to this kind of feel, just feel that. Vibhave na ma. Now I will recite some mantras from the Puranas. You will understand that we have purified our body and now are trying to invoke the highest divine source. Hrim, Shrim, Hrim, Shrim, Hrim, Shrim, Paramashaktyai Namah. Hrim, Shrim, Ananta Shakyai Namah. Nishkala Shakyai Namah. Amala Shakyai Namah. Shashvati Paramakshara Shakyai Namah. Achintya Kevala Shakyai Namah. Hrim Shrim Rasadhatau Paramatmika Anadi Avyaya Shuddha Shakyai Namah. You must have realized that these names are not showing any figure. People like to see figure of a Devi or a Dev. Here, figure is not seen because these names are suggesting that condition of the Shakti or the Shaktiman which is before this world comes into being. Now, who has told us that these are the names which refer to them? This is the beauty of our Puranas. They give us that these are the names which are given by them, and that is how we know it. Now, these are the names we understand. Okay. we move a little further and see. Hrim Shrim Devatmika Sarvaga Shakyai Namah Aneka Vibhagastha Sunirmala Mayatita Shakyai Namah Sarvatmika Jyoti Rupa Amrutakshara Shakyai Namah Sarvesham Pratishtha Shakyai Amruta Prada Shakyai Namah Achyuta Anadinidhana Amogha Karanatmika Shakyai Namah Amrutanabhi Atma Samshraya Praneshwara Priya Shakyai Namah Praneshwari Pranarupa Sarva Shakti Kalakara Shakyai Namah Sarva Karya Niyantri Sarva Bhutashwareshwari Shakyai Namah Avyakta Guhayai Sanatani Yogastha Samsara Yonyai Namah Sakala Sarva Shakti Samudbhava Samsara Parashakyai Namah Prana Shakti Prana Vidya Parama Anadyananta Vibhava Shakyai Namah Parartha Sarga Sthiti Antakarini Pradhana Purushatita Shakyai Namah. And now we come to some little different names. Just listen carefully. Hrim Shrim Shabdayoni Shabdamayi Nadakhya Nada Vigraha Shakyai Namah. You must have realized that now we are probably approaching the world as it is today. Shabdayoni Shabdamayi Nadakhya Nada Vigraha Shakyai Namah. Because the Puranas tell us that it is the Omkar from which this world comes into being, or Hrinkar from which the world comes into being. Om Hrim Shrim Aim Klim Auhu Shmrim. These are all known as Omkar, Tarak Mantra and Anutaraka. People have a feeling that if somebody has devotion towards a Devi and not towards Shaktiman or Dev, is it wrong? It is not wrong. It is your choice. It need not be the choice of others or everyone. But this is a way we know that yes, Shakti did exist before in this form, and now she has created this world. in the form that we see. There is a process how it is done. And because there is a process, we have to know what that process is. Where is it taking place? The Sutta tell the Rishis how it is taking place, and they all nod their head. They give concurrence to it. You see, this is a very, very interesting process followed in our religion, in our scriptures. For example, we consider Bhagavan Krishna to be the Paramatma, the Purna Parameshwara. And Bhishmacharya is the one who was the highly or highest regarded person in the Kurukula or Pandavakula, and to whom Bhagavan Krishna takes Yudhishthira and tells Bhishmacharya that now you tell him the names of the Lord. And Bhishmacharya has given the Vishnu Sahasranam. Vishvam Vishnurva Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krut Bhuta Bhrut Bhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanah. Now, this is the only Sahasranam where the concurrence is given by the Lord himself. Yes, he agrees to these names, and that is why it has assumed such great importance. There are other Sahasranamas like Shiva Sahasranam, Devi Sahasranam. Now, why these Sahasranamas exist? Because they are showing us the different gunas as are observed in them. When we love somebody, why do we love? We like to eat something. Why do we like? The taste is good. It gives us good nutrition. We feel that we have gained some strength. So we like it. Now, when we are talking of the Lord, he is a person. If he were only a principle or an atom with no human feelings, could we have got attracted to it? At least I would not say that way. 99.99% of the people would not have got attracted to the Lord if he were only an atom. But he is a person. Is he made up of the body the way human body is? No. He does not have these bones and flesh what we have. Then how is his body made up of? Who has seen him? The Rishis have seen. The parents of Bhagavan Krishna has seen him. How he appeared to them in the form of the Vishnu, Chaturbhuja, carrying 4 weapons in his hands. Now, how does he appear? When he appears to them in this form, is it in the flesh and bones? Or it is something else? We say it is Mantramayi Tanu. The body is Mantramayi, made up of mantra. Mantra, what does it mean? Ma, and tra. Ma represents the Jiva. Represents the Paramatma. And tra represents his Shakti. This is the way we connect to the Lord and his Shakti. And the Lord appears. These are the Matrukas, as we call them. from A to Ksha. A, I, U, Ru, Lu, A, I, O, Au, Aha. These are the swaras. Next, K, K, G, G, M, Ch, Ch, J, J, Nya, T, T, D, D, N, T, T, D, D, N, P, F, B, B, M. These are the Vyanjanas, and then come the Yara, Lava, Sh, Sh, Sa, Ha, Kshadnya. Now these are the Matrukas. They are called as Matrukas because they are capable of creation. They are a part of the Tanu, of the greatest Shakti of the Lord. That name could be anyone of your choice, whether you want to call it Lakshmi, Rukmini, Parvati, or someone may say that yes, Lalita. Yes, okay, you call her Lalita. And then they will appear to you in those forms. Is it likely that you may be a devotee of Lalita, but you might perhaps be in a position to have a darshan of Lakshmi ji first? Is there any limitation that Lakshmi ji cannot appear in front of you? No, it is their sweet own choice. Is it possible that somebody else may approach you on their behalf? Yes, by all means. Who? Someone like Narad Muni. They will show you, they will take you to the Lord or to the Devi because they are highly respected wherever they go. And that is the importance we give to the saints. Now, with all said and done, if Puranas tell us how this world came into being, how it is sustained, how it will be annihilated, what else does it tell us? It tells us the Vangshavali of different Vamshas, Chandra Vangsha, Surya Vangsha, and whatnot. What is the purpose? We always need some ideals from whom we can learn certain things. As individuals, the understanding is very limited, and therefore we cannot comprehend what is being said. Then how do we understand? When we see some persons acting on that behalf and getting some results, then yes, we feel, yes, this is something which means sense. So, these various Purushas or Purushottamas, perhaps we may call them, they appear in this world and we fall at their feet, we learn from them, and they tell us very many things, very many things. For example, the primary relation of husband and wife. What is it like to be husband and wife? In English, they would say Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. In Arabic, something similar. Whereas in our case, how shall we say that? We call Griha Lakshmi. You get my point? We call the wife as Griha Lakshmi. And Grihapati, Narayan. Lakshmi and Narayan. This is the way we look at them. Or Shiva and Parvati. Are we right in doing this thing? When we say that we call her as Griha Lakshmi, Grihapati, what is all that? Is that correct? Yes? the ideals, if you keep in mind all the time, what will happen? The Srishti observation tells us the small creatures also change their form because of the thoughts that they have in their mind. Same way, if we keep their figures in our mind, their gunas in our mind, shall we not gain something from them? It naturally flows. And this is something which these Puranas tell us to do. They give us all these Sahasranamas. Itihas is the one which says it happened such and such way. Iti ha asa, that is itihas. But whatever we say, all these granthas tell us about the greatness of the Lord, and they also tell us about our own limitations. Then how do we get rid of our limitations? Can we prostrate at the feet of the Lord or Lalita Devi and rise above? Will they catch our hand and tell us up? Yes, somebody wants to ask, please. Somebody has raised hand. Let me know what they want to ask.
Yeah, now we'll take a few questions and answers.
Yeah.
Name is not visible. You raised your hand, sir. Please unmute yourself and ask the question. And any participants, if you have any questions, please ask, because we are running out of time. Sir, my question is, is there any place or reference of a books where we can see the names of the Puranas and what is the inside, the summary kind of thing?
The names of the Puranas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are given in many Puranas. You don't have to worry about that. See, frankly speaking, this way of understanding is something that you can easily get. You are all grown up, know the languages, and books are available. You just go to the bookstall and you buy, you tell them, I want all the Puranas, and they will give you.
Yeah, true, got it.
So the names I told you, and they are all written by Veda Vyasa. I told you that in our case, Veda Vyasa, who was born of a fisherwoman, is not looked upon as something low. He has his own merits, and on the basis of that, he is treated. Brahmanottama, you can say. By Brahmanottama, he is regarded as an avatar of the Lord. Boliye, somebody has raised hand.
Yeah, I'm not. They are not able to unmute themselves. Another question is, due to invasion from the foreigners, we lost all our books and all the references, all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's true that we don't have much of as it used to be before Muslim invasions or British invasions.
Yeah.
So is it true, or we still have all the books in our?
See, we have lost lot many.
Okay.
Ajnanataha nashtaha.
Okay.
Nashtaha pramadatah. Kechid jnanavalepena. Kechid nashtaistu nashitaha. We have lost very many things. Some lost because we were ignorant, not value their worth. Kechin nashtaha pramadataha. We were careless. That is another thing. Then kechin jnanavalepena. So knowledge got lost. And kechin nashtaistu nashitaha. Some are bound to happen because of the time. These are all things which we can say, yes, these are the ways in which we have lost. But the main important point is that we can still regain it. How and why? The path. The path is to approach him because it is the Lord who has given these things to rishis, Suta, and try to understand. What is the way to understand? It is, are we lacking the expertise in the language? That is one part of it. What we really have lost is the Shraddha. Shraddha, Rati and Bhakti are the stages that Srimad Bhagavatam tells us through which we go. You may say that yes, I have faith.
Yeah. The question is, share the mantras chanted.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody is asking, share the mantras chanted, references where they can refer them again, in which Purana. That was the question.
Okay, that I will give. That's not a problem. What is most important is that this is the way you have knowledge of that which it is impossible to get. Now, we talked about the time before this world came into being. Now, if we want to know afterwards, yes, then afterwards also, then it says, Nitya Prasava Dharmini Sarga Pralaya Nirmukta Padmanabha Shakyai. As this is the way we understand that yes, she has not stopped giving birth. You get my point?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Nitya Prasava Dharmini. Yeah, somebody, Madhusudan has.
Yeah. First, let me unmute the person A. Yes, sir. Ask your question, sir. Hello? Yeah. Please ask your question, sir. Okay. Yeah. Masudan ji, I'm unmuting you. Ask your question. Masudan garu.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir. Sorry. Let's sir. This mistake touch sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. So it's a false call. We can continue with the.
He's not asking.
Yeah. By mistake, he raises the question. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Neelima ji.
Okay, she can ask.
Namaste, Dr. Ji, and all others. I would just like to share that all these mantra vibrations have a very subtle effect on us and we can sense them. So I just wanted to tell that. It gives us minute, when we deeply connect beyond our sense perceptions, we can feel those vibrations and some kind of pleasantness, like the prasadam, how it turns as we offer to God, and that sound vibrations of mantras, we always feel that food is very tasty, the prasadam. So that kind of effect we experience with these mantra vibrations. Thank you.
That's true, sir, because when we go to a temple, the mantras, what we feel, the experience is different. The mantras, what you are telling is right. I mean, for new persons are like, from the modern perspective, that looks like just a sounds.
Yeah.
But like, is something is happening inside us, we can feel. It says a person is very gross. Maybe they feel something different, but the person is sensitive. The person know what is the aura and what is the sound vibration, what is the positive energy. They can correlate them into their terminology. But a layman, a new person, they feel something is happening.
Yeah.
And these mantras are basically we didn't hear them or we didn't experience them before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Venkateshwarlu garu.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Please ask your question.
Nowadays, during this corona endemic, in TV, bhakti channels, etc., they will keep giving so many things. If this mantra you chant, it will do you good. This Aditya Hridayam you read, Suryashtakam you read, they are meant for good health. Achyutananta Govinda Namocharana Bheshajat. Like that, they keep on giving so many things. But they will really, whether they will work or not, nobody knows. Even if you do it, there is no way of knowing whether you have done it correctly and whether the God or Goddess is pleased with it. If anything any shortcoming is there. There is no way of getting a feedback. Even in dream also, they will not come and tell you what is lacking, or they are granting also nothing is wrong. It is
I
only
understand.
for
I
our
understand.
psychological.
Let me clarify. See, that was the very reason why I tell everyone to put their fingers on their nadi. The change in the nadi that takes place because of simply listening to the mantras. They will give you the indication that things are changing in your body. You get my point?
Yes, yes.
See, for example, now you do like this. Your right foot, big toe and second toe, the one which is just next to the big toe, nail you press with your thumb. Press and release, press and release. Do you realize that the nose is opening up?
I cannot see my nose now unless mirror is there.
No, you don't have to see. You will understand that the more entry has started getting in, more air.
Achha. Even if the change is there, it is so insignificant. Unless you tell, I will not notice. That is the thing. It is not as obvious as vivid. That itself is evident. That is the problem. This can be even acupressure also may do some such thing. We don't know. It is a complicated affair.
That is
unless
why
an instrument, a multi-channel stethoscope, only if you see it.
Yes, even ordinary stethoscope, if you use, you will be able to realize that the breathing has improved. Or even if you do not have that, you just wear your shirt and let somebody next to you have a look at your chest. They will say that yes, now your breathing is happening deeper.
You are, by asking him, you are tuning him to say in some sort of thing. It is not so obvious by his, without my telling, if he observes, it is a real thing. But if I ask him, see my nose, is it happening? He will be prompted to say, yes, there is some slight change, he may tell.
You see,
so it is
like, no, you see it is like this. Many people have the observation power. Many don't. Even if somebody has the observation power, he may not be able to utilize it there because his mind is somewhere else.
We are not tuned for these things.
You have to tell him that kindly observe this and tell me. This is apparent to somebody who has the interest in it and sees it.
I can tell you one example. Some people, by touching the body, they can say fever is there or not, but all cannot do it, and without thermometer. Thermometer is infallible, whereas personal touch and guessing, it is not that correct. We don't know. You will think how many people will have that sort of thing this season. Like that, it is not foolproof. Problem is that all are not experts in these things. It is not so distinct and vivid.
I understand. See, the problem is that anything and everything that you want to gain something from, you have to study. Without study, how can you gain?
Agreed, sir. In Ramayana, sage Vishwamitra has given Bala, Ati Bala to Rama and Lakshman. But nowadays, even if you try from that end to this end of India, you will not get anywhere. The problem is they ended in the scriptures only. Similar thing, this Chavana Maharshi, Aswini Devatas, they have re-given that youth. But these are all limited to the scriptures. But practically nothing.
No, let me tell you. Our Sudhirji had asked me that we have lost many things and how we get it back. It is true that Vishwamitra gave Bala Ati Bala as the Vidyas to Rama and Lakshman. Now, this Bala and Ati Bala are the names of some particular plants. They are available anywhere in the India. You don't have to grow them for that. They grow without your making any efforts for it. You can see what you lack is the identification. One should be able to identify as that this is Bala and that is Atibala. Now, if you get, let us say, the Bala and Atibala, which you can always get, you will have to charge it. When somebody talks of Vidya, it is charging that strength in the Vanaspati or whatever is the tool that they are using. We have heard that Ashwathama used only a blade of grass to project Narayanastra for the destruction of the child of Uttara, who was in her womb, Parikshit. You know that story.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing that it is possible to do. Even Arjun or others who were masters of different kinds of Astra Vidya. Shastra Vidya is one and Astra Vidya is another. They knew what is Meghastra, they knew what is Parjanyastra, they knew what is Agnyastra. So what were they doing? They were charging their arrows with that. And then they were thrown at the cover. So this is the thing to be learned, how to charge it. And how do you understand that this has been charged or not? I told you that why don't you try to see whether in your room you are getting some vibrations while I was reciting some mantra. Now here I just saw that Renuka ji from Pune has said that she grows Atibala in her farm. You ask her, let her speak.
For that matter, Sanjeevani also was there. Sanjeevi is there. Sandhana Karane, Vishalya Karane, those are there in the books. But problem is, I have now for Ayurveda people also cannot get those things. That is the problem. Why? For that matter, Agastya, sage Agastya, he said, Jirnam, Jirnam, Vatapi, Jirnam. With one sentence, he has digested Vatapi. But I cannot do it. I will have gas problem. I cannot do. I have to take tablets. We are at ground level. Bottom. They are all at a higher plane. We cannot catch them. Now, however small it is, we want to get benefit of those things. For that matter, by adoring Surya Bhagavan, you will get health, people say. But we don't know how to do it properly. By simply chanting Adi Shirodam 1,000 times, you will not get anything. It is like memorizing the tables.
You see, I am trying to do research on that and trying to give the proofs of what mantras we are chanting and what is effect on water or effect on the Jyoti.
Sir, in that connection, I would like to tell one good thing. That is, a foreigner has developed an instrument, sonograph, and he conducted experiments by chanting Om, what it patterned. It draws some pattern of a graph. And by chanting letters, it will. So the pattern is seen. When Om is properly pronounced, it is showing Sri Chakra pattern. So that man got wondered. That sort of thing is lacking nowadays. That is the problem. We have belief, not that we don't have belief. Anybody wants to get benefited after all.
Yes, see, I have chanted Om and had sent it to somebody in England who is a researcher. And he showed me a photograph back. What did the photograph show? It is called a CMAscope.
Sonoscope.
CMAscope. CYMA. CMAscope. So there he had shown certain forms, and you can say that it was something that related with the sky, how this Om gets formed. A friend of mine told me, who has studied astrology, not astronomy, astronomy, he said there are some points in the sky which do not move at all. The rest of the things are moving. But, and he said those spots which don't move have also come into that picture. Now this is very surprising, but this is what we are trying to figure out, whether it is possible to have such proofs. And I would welcome any help from your side.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Because we are running out of time, we conclude this question and answers. And anyone else have a question, we will take a couple of questions before we wind up this today's webinar, as we already completed 38 minutes extra. Yeah, sir. Actually, from the last webinars, we understood that there are some mantras who can help to purify the water. And in this regard, I also did some experiments. Like, simply I'm boiling them every day and I'm using. Now, because of the lockdown, I can't use the water filter, which is in repair. But still, I can, with the help of biosanitizer as a water purifier and plus boiling it. And the mantras that I have not tried, but with these two, boiling and biosanitizer, is really giving a good result. As much like as
That's
like,
yes,
without any purification, direct tap water is giving me very high scaling. But with these two, I'm really getting very less scaling. And in fact, we are taking daily that water for drinking and cooking, and we didn't see much difference. Expect the taste.
Very nice of you. Nice of you to have done the experiment and told us what you did.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, there are many things which we can't understand, we can't digest, we can't accept. So they're very challenging for the presenter to communicate to a very normal level with the normal words, where the whole modern world is backed with, they want scientific and technical proofs. And I mean, unfortunately, the science is not yet developed to show the difference, to show the result. Unless a white man in a white clothes comes and say, okay, this is what experiment we did and these what things we proved and we got a patent, then only we will understand, we'll accept. The same thing has happened for autophagy. That means intermittent fasting, and the number of fasting will decrease the cancer or cure the cancer. Now that was there in our tradition and culture from the ages, from the ancient days. Now, people, all educated people, have started accepting it only when a scientist from other world, or I mean, the modern world or the Western world, got a Nobel Prize. So, I mean, the debate will go on, but our point is, what are they? What is the knowledge? Who gave? And what we can learn and what we can implement for today's world. And then that we can experience.
Sunita D'Souza wants to ask something. Kindly tell her to ask.
Yeah, we want to unmute. Sir, you want to unmute?
One Sunita D'Souza, I saw the name.
Yeah. Sunita ji.
Hi. I just wanted to ask about the nadi. Does it matter whether it's a female, and do you have to use the left hand? Because someone said, I remember that if it's a female, you check the nadi for the left hand, and if it's a male, it's the right hand. Is that correct?
Yeah. See, it is like this. Right hand, left hand, we use in India. In China, they have a different system. You must have heard that they have the meridian system.
Yes.
And their meridians, they do get what they want of what is going on in the body. If you put your right fingers on the left hand, then it is the first finger below the surface, you will be able to feel the heart meridian.
Yes.
That is why I showed you that. In our country, yes, left because of the female side and right because males. Yes, that is a different way of thinking, but somehow we do find some correlation between the two.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Nilima ji.
Renuka ji.
Yes, namaste, sir. I just wanted to insist on this water change in the difference in the water consistency and taste. Even I experimented the boiling of water and having it. We are daily having that water. It's really tasty and we feel the lightness in the water. So just
Right.
wanted to insist on that subject.
Very kind
Also,
of you.
another thing, Dr. Ji, Suta Maharshi, Suta is also called as Shuka Maharshi, right? Shuka?
Shuka is different.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Shukadev is different. Sut
Shukadev
is
is
different.
different. Okay.
Shuka is the son of Vyasadeva.
Okay. So Suta is also son of Vyasadeva only, right?
No.
No. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sir, someone has a question about checking their inner wrist for pulse. Can you please clearly show it one more time?
Yeah.
Vata, Pitta, Kapha touching. Okay.
See, how to show.
Yeah.
See, this is the nadi. And here I am putting 3 fingers. See, this is the right horizontal line. You see this horizontal line?
Yes, yes.
And then first our index finger, middle finger and ring finger. And they are right on the nadi itself. And you get throbbing. Yeah. That is the way to know. The first finger, index finger, if you are getting it, the pulsation below that, it means the nadi is showing vayu, vata. If the middle finger is getting the pulsations, it is the pitta, and the ring finger getting it is kapha.
Yeah. So just to confirm, for female, they have to check in the left side, and for gent, we need to check in the right hand. Is it correct, sir?
This is what is Ayurveda.
Okay. For the mantras, not required.
See, mantras, you can know how these meridians are getting affected, the organs themselves.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Sir, one more question is the mantras chanting for water purification. Many are asking for the records. I mean, many are asking for a clear voice records.
I did not get you what you said.
No, for water purification mantra chanting,
yeah,
many are asking for the references of those
books.
No, where they can get the recording to practice them.
Okay, I will show you how I do it. If you want, you can note down.
Okay.
Sunita has raised her hand.
Yeah.
May I know what she wants to know?
Yes, I just wanted to know what is your idea on mudras, sir? Mudras?
Sure. Mudras definitely help. This is the very mudra. Saman mudra. Okay.
For eating, no? Which when we eat food, right?
Huh?
That Saman mudra is when we eat food with the hand. Is that correct?
Yes. Not necessarily. This is the Saman mudra by putting your thumb in touch with all the 4 fingers. This is Saman mudra. It looks like we are eating the way you thought.
Okay.
But that is something which will tell you that the Saman Vayu, which is situated near the navel, will take all the ingredients that you have eaten and which have undergone the changes and what we call as lymph. It will go to all parts of the body. So will the blood also go. This is the advantage.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think
somebody else had asked some question.
No, many are asking to how we can practice the water chanting mantras. That was the only question. I mean, last webinar and this webinar also, many want to practice really to see their experience in that.
So if they want, I'll show them how to chant.
Hmm.
Are they willing?
Maybe not now because we already crossed the.
I understand. Yes, but then they can contact me if they like.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will share your number.
Yeah. Namaste.
Yeah. Thank you all. With this, we'll conclude this today's webinar. We'll join tomorrow webinar on Ayurveda Herbs. Thank you all.
Thank you.